So at this point, people in apartment buildings are just thinking, why should we miss out on this renewable energy revolution? We've seen 3 million rooftop solar systems go out into Australia, and we've got to congratulate Australia on having the highest per capita rooftop solar install of any nation across the planet. And it's just natural that when we see all our friends with solar panels, that now we want to bring that onto our own apartment buildings and participate in this renewable energy revolution. Depending on the configuration of your apartment building and the amount of roof space available, we're now seeing some strata buildings putting 2 solar systems on their rooftop. One for the common areas and one to be shared amongst all the apartments, or even just a subset group of interested owners that want to contribute to it on a pro rata basis. When it comes to electric vehicle charging, the early adopters of electric vehicles have had them for 7 years now. But it's only really in 2021 that we've seen a broad range of electric vehicles at lower price points that are affordable for people living in our strata buildings. More recently, there's been more focus around electric vehicle charging. We've already seen a strata building that has gone down the process of putting in place some charging capability, and 6 more people buying an electric vehicle within the course of the next 12 months. So what we're really seeing is there's pent-up demand for electric vehicles inside the apartment buildings today.
Major projects in buildings have the potential to really enhance the way that we live in apartment buildings. We can add to our environmental awareness and be doing things that collectively can make a big difference.
Major projects are a way of increasing property value inside apartment buildings. If we use basic economics, 2 equivalent buildings that have exactly the same assets, but one has a lower running cost, over time you've got lower strata levies. A question that comes up quite a bit is, how do I get involved? If I'm an owner and I'm not on the strata committee, then you should make a point of trying to get to the next annual general meeting and volunteer yourself and join the committee. Something like a survey of people in the building is kind of a way of getting an informal pre-poll about what people are thinking.
A survey can really help. It shouldn't be too long for a starter. It should be really relevant to the areas that you want to investigate. If, for example, you were doing it on, and one of the popular topics at the moment is electric vehicles, you might be asking a more general question to start off with, what you think about the movement to electric vehicles and so forth. Then another more specific question about, are you intending to purchase an electric vehicle maybe in the next 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, etc. And then maybe bring up, do you think there should be charging in the building? And that, of course, can therefore then guide what your projects are. So we've got a broad direction. Then you would aim to prepare a proposal.
Some things to think about when planning the project. What are the estimated costs likely to be for this project? Is there a payback attached to it? What's the financial benefit in terms of both the operation of the building and any potential valuation uplift for all the apartments in the building?
Once you've broadly specced out what you want to do, you then start to obtain quotes. And in Strata, the general practice is to at least get 3 quotes for a major project. Within a building, there's also going to be some dissenters. There's going to be people that don't want the project to happen. It may not be because they dislike what's being proposed. It may be because they just don't want to spend the money.
Few people know that any owner in an apartment building can place a motion on any annual general meeting or extraordinary general meeting. If we're looking at a bigger project, something that involves passing a sustainability infrastructure motion, you need to take a longer term view. So you need to be thinking over the next 18 months to 2 years. What that buys you is 2 annual general meeting cycles. You could be bringing the motions on the agenda at the first AGM, and as a result of that, you might get enough support to create an energy subcommittee with the goal of bringing back to the next AGM the more detailed quotations that could potentially be voted on and executed as a project in the building.
Getting a project going collectively can be difficult, and it takes time. I think it takes patience in Strata to actually get things going. So it's really important to keep the energy levels up from the people that are actually driving the project. And one thing that I've discovered that can be really beneficial is meeting with other owners in other buildings and learning from them, because sometimes it can be a lonely job if you're the only person or you feel like you're the only person.
You need to become like a sustainability champion and the person that's doing the legwork and the research and bringing that information back into your own Strata scheme.
A single person can really make a difference. It might not seem possible at the beginning, but in actual fact, that's how most projects happen. Taking on a major project can seem overwhelming and too difficult for one person to do. But I can recommend that actually it is possible, and you just need to take things step at a time, talk to people, then talk to others, just keep the communication going. And that's how things get momentum and projects actually happen.
If you're an owner in a Strata building and you're thinking about being the champion for a sustainability project like solar or EV charging, remember there are people that have done it before. You're not the first person. And there's help available from other Strata buildings, from local councils, from state governments that will help you. There's a vast amount of online material. The research has been done. All we need to do is come together and unify, and it's been demonstrated that we can participate and join the rest of the population, accelerating our transition to a sustainable future.